Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to the Small Town Jakes podcast. I'm Jake Carruthers here
And
with my
I'm
co-host.
Jake Wilson.
Thanks for coming back, you guys. So today we're gonna talk a little bit about living in a van
Oh, yeah, we're getting real with it.
down by the river.
I wish it was by a river, although I stayed by
Yeah.
the river sometimes. Yeah, we're going to
So
live in a van.
yeah,
and-
today we're just gonna talk a little bit about when Wilson used to live in the van. If you look at the
Hashtag van life.
Hashtag van life. Hashtag alternative living. Hashtag Chris Farley. Van down by the river. If you look at our, I think it was our first image or whatever of the Small Town Jakes podcast. We're both sitting. It's like you can see the sun behind us, and we're sitting on a couch that's actually sitting on a van.
On top of, my old RV van.
Jake's old RV van that he used to live in. So
Do they call that a convertible van? Or no?
Well, not convertible.
What do they call it? They call it it has like a bubble top, and it's like it was like that old GMC style,
yeah,
Dodge style.
it looks like a regular van, but
boxy
the box is all like fiber, or the top's all like fiberglass and bubbled out and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, what year was it? Yeah.
Oh man, what year was that thing? It was straight out of the 80s.
Yeah, it was like 84 or something like that.
I think so.
82
It
or
was
something.
like I bonded with it because it was nearly the same age as me.
Yeah.
And I thought, what better time to take you out is
And live in you.
Yeah, when
We're the same age.
yeah, we're gonna go explore this shit together.
Yeah. And then later we'll talk about how I used to live in a car too. So in a car and a tent and stuff. So we'll go
Yeah.
into that later. But we're going to start off with, going into the van life.
Yeah.
So my first question for you was like, what gave you the idea to do it? Like, were you like, fuck, I just need a place to live? Or were you like, this is what I want to do for a while? Or was it like just spontaneous? Like, you know what? I'm going to go fucking live in a van.
I had thought about it a few times, and it was kind of born out of necessity because I wasn't making a whole lot of money, though I was out on my own, but it was very poor living, very top ramen,
And you
sort
were
of
working at
diet and
Mervin at that point, right? The snowboard factory?
yeah, I was working with LibTech and at Mervin, and it was a big part of my life where I was into snowboarding, and within the snowboarding culture, there is this like kind of van life mentality about it.
There's a few people I work with that they live in vans, like at the factory, like when they're working there during the week.
Yeah, I used to be on the weekend shift.
And we'll talk about that later. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You also used to live there.
Okay, so
you just kind of.
So yeah, and at some point it was like spring, and I'd bought this van for camping.
And so like, where did you initially come across it? Did you just like see it and you were like, idea?
Yeah, I came across it. Gosh, it was a while ago. I don't remember how I acquired that thing.
Was that your main rig? Did you have?
No,
another?
I had a car. I had a little Toyota, like Camry.
Yeah. Okay, I remember. Okay.
And that was my main car. And then
that was your house.
I was like, oh, it'd be really cool to like go camping in this thing. I had my dog Bliss, and I was like, this would be pretty cool. And then at some point, it came to the point that since I had my dog Bliss, who was Rottweiler Pit Bull, Doberman
the sweetest
mix,
fucking dog anyone would ever meet.
Nobody would rent to me.
It's on the no rent list. It's on the 7 breeds or whatever.
Yeah, that insurance companies don't like, and she was 3 of them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, she was a 4-way, and yeah, the only good one that she had in her was Lab, and we knew it was Lab, so I wasn't lying by saying
she's
a
a Lab.
Mix.
That's funny because she looks like a brindle pit bull.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
We miss you, Bliss.
Oh yeah, miss that dog for sure. That was a lot of good times that we had.
That was one of the things I was going to ask you about was like, what was it like living with Bliss? But like wrap up, like, so you decided like, I'm going to buy this thing for camping, and then you were like, fuck man, I don't make any money.
Yeah, I spent about $3,000 on it, and I just wanted a way to go to the mountains and stay there, and that's originally what it was.
Yeah,
so
without
if I could,
paying out the ass for it.
yeah, because I couldn't afford renting any of the cabins out at at Stevens Pass
Yeah.
or anything like that, and everything, all the mountains that I wanted to go to and snowboard at were more. It was like 4.5 hours drive just to get out there.
Yeah, it's like you got to spend a couple days.
So what are you gonna do? Spend 4.5 hours driving in the dawn of early morning, and then get there, ride all day as long as you can until you're really tired, and then you're gonna drive back? No.
Yeah, by yourself. Yeah, because you were like single at this point too.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's like
Single.
you didn't really,
I
you're
really
like, it's just me and the dog.
I had nothing
tying
tied
me
me
down.
down except for my dog, and I was like, I can bring my dog with me. And yeah, and it came to a point where I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna spend this at least this summer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend in the van. I'm gonna work all summer and on the weekend shift 3 days a week.
Yeah, and
then,
that was when we were all working on Weekend Crew together.
right? Yeah,
Which is the crew that I'm on now, where it's just we work 3 12-hour days. Friday.
Oh yeah, cheers everybody. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. God. Oh, we forgot to do a cheers at the beginning. It's cursed. It's curse episode now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we all worked on it. So we'd work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 12-hour days. And then we'd have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off.
Yeah.
And
Which was amazing.
It was pretty sweet. So I remember you'd park the van there at work.
Yeah. So I'd at work, if one of your questions was where did I shower? I showered at work.
Yep, that was one of the things. Like, yep.
So I would work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then get a shower before I left, and I stayed in the parking lot on campus at work, which was fine.
Yeah,
Nobody
because,
cared.
So people know, like there is like a shower at work. Like
a lot of places have showers at work,
because it's like a factory, so there is an actual shower there.
But it
like,
really
you could
wasn't
just shower
used.
every day.
It was
never,
basically
ever used.
I was the only one using it.
I never used it because I lived fucking half a mile away.
Yeah, you had your own shower.
Yeah.
So the van had a toilet in it, though I never used it.
That was actually my number one question was, where did you poop?
Where did I poop? Okay. Yeah.
Where did you poop?
That's the thing about van life is you kind of have to plan ahead.
You got to plan out your poops. You got to have
showers, laundry. You got to plan these things
out. You got to have a
out.
poop schedule.
So, and also, when you're
Like,
camping,
plan out,
you don't
like,
poop as much.
yeah.
It's like you almost don't poop
You
as much when you're on the road. It's like,
because you're not eating as much, and you're like out doing stuff, and you're like, but
nothing
but sometimes
like the comfort
it's
of your
okay,
own bathroom.
and you look at your calendar, and you're like, okay, spicy street tacos tonight. We're gonna have to move the poop up to 2 hours earlier the next day.
And so
So would you
I
just
relied
go-
on a lot of parks.
I was gonna say, just go like
park
find
restrooms, public areas that had restrooms. I found out very quickly where those places were, and who had the best facilities and all.
Yeah. They actually have outhouses at Mervyn now.
Outhouses.
Yeah, like the Santa cans.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they have like 3 of them out there now.
Gross. No.
Well, no, they're just out in the parking lot, and it's just for, I guess, when the bathroom's full up, you can go out there. But also it's for the people that live there during the week, like in their vans and stuff. So like when the factory's closed down, they still have somewhere they can go to the bathroom. I was like, that's
cool. There's
cool.
still
That's pretty
people living
cool.
van life there. That's good.
Yeah.
So that was how it came to be, and I just jumped into the water and I went for it, and it was really exciting. I kind of packed up all my belongings at my sister's house.
Yeah, because where you were staying.
The majority of all my stuff went and hung out in my garage, in my shop, where my woodworking shop was. So. And then I pared down everything I had. I had, a limited set of clothes.
Yeah.
I'd like a week's set of clothes,
Yeah.
and I lived life 1 week at a time, man.
Did you go to the laundromat or did you go see your mom?
Went and see my mama.
Yeah, exactly. It's an excuse
Yeah.
to see your mom and be like, all right, let's hang out for a couple hours while
Yeah.
I use your washer and dryer.
And also, I'm gonna shower too.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's been a day or two.
Yeah, I've been out like in the wilderness, tromping around
Yeah.
with Bliss, like
Well, and you go
or
and hang
out
out.
at the lake.
You would literally go down by the river because you were working out in Carlsberg, and you would go down to the Dungeness all the time, right?
Yeah.
Sorry for
The
not
Dungeness
non-locals. The
River.
Dungeness River.
Yeah,
The Dungeon.
not like it's not a crazy river, so it's shallow and it gets warmer and it's slower flowing
Yeah.
and
Except for when you tube it, you almost die.
yeah, like
We've
that one
talked
time.
about that before.
Yeah,
No, that was nice. It was like super close to work, and
so
I think I remember you came and stayed at my place a few times too.
yeah.
It was nice because
not
it was like you could go to a party,
Yep.
and like just bring your house with you, and like
and that's what
I'm
I did.
fucked up. I gotta walk all the way to my house, which is right there.
This reminds me, do you remember there was like that one like metalhead festival that would happen in Carlsberg on that farm?
Yes, I do. I went to it one time and I got heat exhaustion
I went to it
and I got
and
so fucking sick.
partied there and slept there in the van.
Yeah.
And then left in the morning. But I was so hungover, and I called into my boss, who was also at the event that night. I said, "I can't do it, man. I'm done for. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be a piece of crap and say I can't work today because I'm hungover." And you knew I was hungover, and you partied with me all last night. And I was like,
Yeah, you know why I'm not coming into work.
yeah,
It's because you kept on saying, another beer, another beer, another
Yeah.
beer.
No, because literally I'd be like, "No, okay, it's time." They're like, "Well, you're not gonna party," you know?
I remember, that Metal Fest was fun. They only did it for like 3 years, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like Death Metal Fest, like in Squim.
Yeah. So some people like to call it boondocking, which is dispersed camping on public land.
Okay.
And there's a whole culture behind boondocking, and where can you go find places? There's plenty of like public state land
Yeah.
area that you can
Still go to. But yeah, I just remember I was so jealous whenever we'd have like a party. You'd like show up with your house.
yeah.
Like we'll talk about like that one time out at Phil's property, the mayor's property out on the Lyre River, when you came out with Bliss, and it was me and my ex and Phil were all staying. I mean, Phil was living there, but we all camped down there for like a couple
down
days.
right on the river. I
think it was
van
probably like
right
maybe it
down
was
there.
Memorial Weekend or something.
And I brought my two little dirt bikes. Is that
The little
week?
pit bikes. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, we tore it up that weekend. That was so fun.
Oh, that was so
a
good. Such
time.
good weather.
Well,
And
we got some photos from that, don't we?
yeah. So I'll post those
You'll
on.
post some of those?
And it's
Okay.
like Jake, and he's not. He learned to levitate. He like did this. We did these camera
trickery.
tricks where it was like he was like holding this staff, and then he like jumped off of a cooler, but your feet were straight, so it looked like
It
you
looked
were
like
just,
I was level.
It just looked like he's
levitating,
levitating. So yeah, and then it's got the van in the background and
Yeah,
everything.
so you see my van.
We'll post that on Instagram.
Yeah. No, that's a good one.
We gotta start posting more stuff on Instagram. We just got like 60 new followers.
Oh yeah, thanks guys. Hopefully they'll follow us onto this platform and listen to our crazy
Don't
stories.
just watch our Instagram stuff. Like we have a podcast too, but
So Walmart parking lot was a place that I stayed more than once.
I bet that was sketchy at points.
It's a little,
guess-
weird
I
because
guess that was
you
your-
do get
yeah.
like kind of lower end people lifestyles hanging out there.
Of the non-rich lifestyles of the non-rich and famous.
Yeah.
The
So, see,
methed
I
out
kept it pretty
lifestyles
classy.
of the methed out and crazy.
But I saw people like, just totally unloading their trailer and like just like literally like chairs and barbecuing up in the
We's
parking
gonna be
lot,
here
which
for
is
a
fine,
while.
which is fine, but like it's supposed to be an overnight thing.
Yeah,
and
if
it
you're
looked
like
like
moving,
they
they're
had
like,
been like
they're gonna
moved
be
in.
here for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Until they forcibly remove us.
Yeah, which they can't legally do.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a while. So the only thing bad about that is that the parking lot lights don't go off. So
Oh, it's just always bright.
blackout curtains. I made
Yeah.
blackout curtains. Did I sew those? I think I might have sewn my own curtains for that one.
Did you crochet them too? Did you
No,
make 'em-
no,
make 'em-
crochet is very inefficient for curtains. Plus, there'd be a lot of holes, and
Well, not if you have a tight knit. Use the number one. Come on. I
my
don't
knit is tight. Okay.
Sorry. Okay, let's not get into the crochet.
Down by the marina, I would stay. Just off the road there, free parking, and then
Oh yeah.
I got one of my favorite
in Port
photos
Angeles, right?
in Port Angeles. Yeah, right on Marina Drive, or right.
Yeah, I know. Right at the boat. All
Yeah.
the boats, the boat haven. The
Yeah,
fucking-
and there's all that parking along the road.
Yeah.
The only bad part about that spot was that like 4:00 in the morning, all the log trucks, because there's a log yard right there, would
Yeah.
be like zooming past, and it would actually rock the van.
They rocked the
because-
whole van. Yeah,
Ooh.
because you were right there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little nuts, and that wakes you up. You go, okay, I guess it's morning time.
Yeah.
And so I would usually at that point I would drive out to Edis Hook.
Oh
Like-
yeah, nice.
Like I'd go to one of the parks because they're open from dusk till dawn.
Dusk
or
till dawn. Yeah.
Dawn till
till
dusk.
It's like the Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah, but opposite. So I got one of my favorite pictures that I've ever taken was on a morning that I got woken up and drove out to Edis Hook, and it was sunrise over Port Angeles,
Nice.
all orange and red and crazy. And then there was like a
Edis Hook.
kayaker carrying his kayak like on his way to like push off, and like it was a really cool photo, and the front of my van was in it. I'll try to find it. I'll send
Eddie's
it
Hook
to
is
you.
one of my favorite places, and speaking of that, our other logo photo was a picture that I took out of Eddie's Hook, like looking down the mill.
Yes.
There's the other one that
Yes.
says Small Town Jakes. So
yeah,
we have like
that's-
two ones of us on a van,
So,
and the
yeah.
other one is taken from Eddie's
Our
Hook.
face our podcast one, that when you find our podcast
Sorry.
on Spotify or anything,
Yeah.
you see the photo that you took of Port Angeles from Edis
Edis
Hook.
Hook, yeah. And it's basically
and
just,
then on
it's just the sky,
YouTube,
but-
if you watch on YouTube, the picture of us on the van is my van, and we're at my birthday party.
It was your 26th birthday party.
I
or
wanna say it was
something like that. It was like
26.
26, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually got to take that thing out on an adventure.
Before you go any further, cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
All right. Went on an adventure.
Yeah, so I got to fulfill one of my dreams of being like, okay, we're gonna do this low cost style snowboarding culture living, and what I would do is, since you worked at Mervyn, you got a deal on your season's pass.
Yeah.
So I would get my season's pass, and since I worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I went out
Monday.
Sunday night.
Oh.
I drove all the way out to Stevens Pass and parked. No, wait. Okay, no, it was a Monday. So I drove out there Monday
I was
morning.
going to say, man, 12-hour shift and then
Yeah.
you drove that far.
Yeah. So I drove out on a Monday, and I knew the snow was good. I'd been watching the forecast. Thought this is a great opportunity. Went and was just snowboarding the whole day out at Stevens Pass, and like, I was gonna spend the whole most of the week there.
Yeah.
So my first day in, I was like, oh, great day. You know, I met some of the people that worked for the park and for the pass,
Yeah.
and they're all really cool, and got invited out to a party out at Leavenworth. So went to a party out
shit.
in Leavenworth for the first night with just some new people that I'd met, and we had fun.
And that's a little ways away too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I ended up staying the night. It's like 40 minutes away from Stevens Pass. So I stayed a night in Leavenworth, which is like a total tourist attraction because everything is built in Bavarian style.
It's Bavarian style. I went there when I was a kid. I'd love to go there as an adult. I've heard it's pretty cool. But like I don't just want to go there by myself. That's weird.
So we got to go back, and then it's Tuesday, snowboard all day, and then spent Tuesday night in the van, which was parked in. I found out from the workers of the pass. There's like these 2 poles that you can park between, that the snow plows won't bother.
That won't block you in.
Yeah. So I was kind of like given a heads up of where to park.
Hey,
so,
there's this one spot you can park overnight. Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's dope.
You know, I had some like bagels and stuff. I had a little propane heater that I turned on in the morning.
And you toasted your bagels on them?
And I could have, but no. But I just warm up the place. Yeah. There's a YouTuber that like I seen him like cook hot dogs and stuff on those little Mr. Buddy heaters. So it's like, what?
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. But I did not do that. And I would like get the music going in the morning because I'd set up my van with like Bluetooth and like a whole new speaker system because I had no rent. This is the miracle of van life is you have, as long as
so
you're
much
working,
extra money. Yeah.
And you're not putting 2/3, 3/4 of your paycheck towards your rent,
and then also your electricity and your water and your fucking everything,
nothing,
your internet and your fucking all that shit. It's like it adds up. That's a lot of money to be saving.
Yeah.
So
internet, that's a good one. I used the Wi-Fi at work during the weekend, and I just really didn't have it during the week, and I would go to different campgrounds. I would stay one week I stayed at Fairhelm Campground.
Yeah. Well, hey, wait, you were okay. So you were partway into your week.
Oh yeah. Out at
so Tuesday,
Stevens Pass.
Tuesday, you just
snowboarded,
woke up early, got all stoked up and warmed up, and then
so Wednesday snowboarded, and then I was like, okay, let's get home on Wednesday so I can have, or I didn't have a home.
Yeah.
So
let's get back to Port Angeles, where I work. Yeah.
And by Wednesday night, have a free day on Thursday to just do
relax,
to like shower and do laundry,
get
and
shit done,
all that kind of stuff, and then back to work on Friday.
Yeah.
And that was very memorable.
And then you only got to work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you got 4 more days off.
And then I'm like, what am I gonna do next? I go to Fairhelm Campground on Lake Crescent, and
I think I met you out there once.
Here's the kicker: I didn't actually just do a regular campsite. I did a walk to campsite and set up a tent and stayed right on the beach.
Oh, nice! There's a couple there.
There's a couple campsites that you can camp right on the beach. So.
I used to go there a lot when I was young.
So instead of sleeping in the van, like set up everything down on this little campsite. Had a little my tent.
You slept in a tent down by the lake.
Yes, I did. It was great.
Down by the river.
Those were good. Those days were good with. Extra money. I bought myself a new wardrobe. Basically, every paycheck I'd go out. I got it at Ross, right? I'd go and get myself some jeans. I would get like new pairs of shoes. Everything from Ross. It's on the cheap, so it was.
What'd you do? Like, did you like store some of it? How'd you fit it all in your van? That's another thing I was wondering.
I got rid of my old clothes.
How did you?
And replaced them with new, nice clothes.
Just like, fuck this shit, yeah.
Yeah, well, I had a little bit of storage that I kept all my big things on my sister's property.
Oh, okay. So you had some storage. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And, small set of clothes. I would stay at friends' houses during the week.
What about electricity?
Electricity, it ran off a battery. So I had lights in there, just like a camper.
Yeah.
There are 6-volt lights that
Yeah.
you could turn on. So
It's like enough to like charge your phone and stuff too. Then or
yeah, there was a little outlet that I could plug in and charge my phone.
yeah,
And then I could also plug the van in to power.
yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Is like,
I
would you
did
just
at work over the weekend. I would plug in via extension cord to outside power. And
I could just see you like pulling up at my house at like 2:00 in the morning, and I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" And you're like quietly plugging into the side of my car. You're like, "How'd you think I got electricity, man? I'm like, get out of here!"
yeah.
No, I think you maybe charged up at my house a time or two. Had that little outlet right there by the back door.
Yeah.
I'm sure I was probably like, "Go for it, charge your shit."
Yeah, since I drove the van
But-
around a lot,
yeah, but you had
I
no-
drive
you
it everywhere.
You had no hookups at Mervyn though, right?
There was one external power at the marketing building.
Okay.
That I could, and I found like an extension cord.
Yeah.
And just plugged right in.
Yeah. Well, they were cool
It was
about it
good
too.
times. Yeah, no, they were. They were just like, I don't care.
Yeah, you're a
cool.
good fucking worker. Sorry that you can't afford like when I went there, they were like, "Oh, so you live in Port Angeles? That's nice. We have a lot of people that can't afford housing right now." It's like,
Yeah,
maybe pay them more money.
yeah. We're
But
in a housing
the
crisis.
housing crisis is pretty fucking horrible.
This town has been in a housing crisis for a while. It's so hard to find. Like
I'm
even
this
our
close to getting a
hospital-
camper for my truck and just living out there too.
Yeah,
Just live out
buddy.
there, fucking Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Me and Phil were talking about because I live with Phil now, and he's like, "Man, I'm thinking about getting a travel trailer." And I was like, "Dude, if you got a travel trailer, I mean, that'd be pretty fucking dope. We could just go and just stay out there all week because it's an hour commute for us,
Yeah.
dude. Because we're all the way out past Joyce, and we're
You
going
save a
all
lot
the
of
way to
commuting
swim.
time. You save a lot of gas money.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, I'd be down. Because
Yeah.
once you work a 12-hour day, I mean, and then you add an hour of commute each way.
That's a 14-hour day.
That's 14-hour day.
You need to make yourself some food. You need to wind down. That's 2 more hours at least. So
Yeah.
that's 16 hours.
And then you got to pass out as soon as you can because you got to wake the fuck up 4
And you
o'clock
got,
in the morning.
that's 8 hours before your next shift.
Yeah.
And you have to wake up an hour
Or-
before your shift starts, or like an hour and a half before. So
Yeah.
you get a 6-hour
Yeah.
night if you do all that. But if you're just at work and you can just as soon as you clock off, you're like,
Start cooking
okay,
food. Yep.
start cooking food. Like,
Have a couple more hours to,
I can
chill
shower
and not
here
have to,
at
yeah.
work.
It's shower at work, yeah.
no,
So,
that's great.
I don't know. Maybe me and Phil might start living there during the weekends. There's nobody there. It's literally just us two and 2 other guys. So
4 people.
there's
There you
4 people in the whole factory, which there's
There.
usually like,
go. Ward off some of the crackheads
60s or-
in the early morning nights.
Exactly.
There was one time where, do they still have that truck that takes all the sawdust from the core shop and goes and dumps it?
it's the same truck.
So that truck was getting its gas siphoned at like 3:30 in the morning, and Paul had caught him, and the dude.
What
got
up, Paul?
into
If you're listening, we miss you.
yeah, buddy. They took the guy got into his truck and just took off and left his like girlfriend there, who was doing the siphoning, and she had gotten gas when she had like was
Yeah.
sucking the hose to
Yeah.
start the siphon, and she started like throwing up and stuff like right there as Paul's like, okay, hey, your boyfriend there left and the cops are coming. Here's some water to wash your mouth out.
Yeah.
And she's like,
Oh. Yeah, I had a buddy that was siphoning gas out of. It was like I was out of my vehicle, so he could get to the gas station because he was a habitual run out of gas person.
oh god.
Like I had to meet him on the road like 4 times, and then Phil had to meet him like 10
It's the
times
worst
on the
because
side of the
it's-
road with gas.
Did you know in Germany you'd get a ticket if you run out of gas like on the Autobahn?
Yeah, well, I got to a point where I just said I'm not
Because-
fucking doing it anymore. But like he was living on the same property I was living at, and he was like, I just need to siphon some gas so I can get to the gas station. So I pulled my car over there, and he was doing it, and he like fucking got a whole mouthful that he swallowed. He got so sick for like fucking like 3 days. I wanted to take him to the ER.
Oh God.
I was like, let's just go to the ER and get your stomach.
That
pumped.
makes me
I'm
want to gag right now.
I'm fine. I'm fine. He was
Just
so
ingested
sick.
gasoline,
He just
bro.
puked and shit for fucking days. So yeah, don't siphon. Go and just get a ride to get some gas.
You want to take a break and then we'll come back and
Yeah,
we'll talk about
I
your
think- let's
experiences
see.
and stuff. Is there anything else that you want to talk about real quick?
I don't think so. Cooking. Did you have like a cook thing in there, or did you just barbecue?
I had a little
barbecue?
I had a little stove in there, but it was, the RV was kind of old and it had a propane bottle that was as old as the van, so they wouldn't, and it was attached to the thing.
Yeah.
And there was also like a propane furnace that didn't work either.
Yeah.
So I just didn't bother with cooking in the van, going to the bathroom in the van.
Yeah.
The van was clearly like
Sleeping.
my closet.
Yeah.
It was like my bedroom, a closet and a bed,
Yeah.
and my vehicle.
Yeah.
So cooking, since I had extra money, I ate out a lot.
Yeah. I was gonna say you just probably just go and
Just order up some really good food and
did you have
and
a
treat
refrigerator?
myself.
You had a refrigerator. In there.
I had a refrigerator and that
Yeah,
worked.
that
It was
worked, yeah.
electricity, and so
keep your beer cold and your takeout cold.
Yep. Yeah,
That's
it's during the
about all
summer.
you
It was
needed.
hot. It'd get hot in there, like. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was some. There was some good times chilling in that van.
All right. Well, yeah, that was like one of the other things I wanted to know. But yeah. So we'll be back, and then we'll talk about some of my stuff, because I ended up living in a car and in a tent for like 5 months when I was working down in California on some giant marijuana farms. So we'll
Nice.
get into that when we get back.
Yeah. Stay
So
tuned. Lots of good stories to come.
We'll see you shortly.
Okay.
Bye.
This episode has been brought to you by Vans. Not the shoes, but the ones that you...
Can live in and shouldn't accept candy from.
Don't take the free candy.
Vein candy. Welcome back, everyone. So we're into the second half. First half, we kind of talked about how you used to live in a vehicle. We'll talk a little bit about how I lived in a vehicle. So when I was in my very late teens, early 20s, I went and worked down in California. I worked in what's called the Emerald Triangle. It's
What?
Mendocino, Humboldt, and Trinity counties. They're all
so
in the same area. It's all very northern California, over by the redwoods, kind of. And so I went down there, and I used to live in a car and in a tent for 5 months down there while I worked on these farms, and they're all medical marijuana farms. So, but it's not
When was this?
the year.
Do you know about the year?
I don't know. I was probably like 2000, it'd be like 2006, 2007.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
06, 07.
I graduated in 04. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I was, I was like just
coming of age
2021. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere around that. Yeah. So, I was working down there, and I was living in the car. I worked down there with my buddy. We both went down there together, and he had a car, and I slept in a tent. And it wasn't as nice as living in a van. Living in a
would say.
car with another person is a little rough.
I would think so.
Yeah.
It
So,
seems a little rough. I mean, to say.
yeah. So
Wait.
I'll just go into so what I was doing down there was I was working trimming some times of the year, but basically taking the harvest from the prior year and then getting everything ready, building these giant like pots. You'd think like a pot that you'd put a plant in. Well, think about if it's going to be a 20-foot tall marijuana plant. You
Like
need a lot more room, you know. So it's like building these giant cages that, because you don't just put them straight in the ground. You want them to have the best nutrients.
Planting, it's like raised garden beds.
Yeah, but I'd say the
But they're
radius
big diameter.
is probably about 10-foot radius.
So 20-foot diameter.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I mean,
It's a big pot.
They were big. And then, I mean, the plants would get, 16, 18 feet tall.
What?
This is...
16, 18 foot tall? Are you talking like...
They looked like evergreen trees.
You could like...
And this is all in
climb
one
up
season. It's the second fastest growing plant in the world. Wow. And if you give it all this nutrition and you sift all the dirt perfectly and then you plant them, they have everything that they need to grow.
And they will take off.
They will take off.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was working with doing that, planning, getting all these things ready and stuff. And it was fun. It was scary at some points. We'll talk a little bit about that later, but like, yeah, it was cool working down there and stuff. But I had to sleep in a tent, and I live in Washington, and there's nothing out here that can kill you except for, of course, bears, cougars. We got a lot of serial killers. So.
Serial killer capital of the world.
I mean, seriously,
I'm
look
sure
it up. Yeah. But I'm just like, we don't have anything poisonous up here. And I've lived up here my whole life. And then going and living there. So, yeah, I was down in Mendocino County. In just way up in the mountains from Willits. This little small town there's not really much out there except for just pot grows.
Very rural.
Yeah. And you can
So this is like Northern California?
Yeah, this is Northern California. And if you want like a reference, if anybody's ever seen the show Murder Mountain.
It's like right there.
We're literally, like if you're from Willits, like you can go like 15, 20 miles this way. And then you can go up the road to go to Murder Mountain. Yeah. We were on another mountain.
Can I ask you a couple questions about...
kind of the same thing.
Or are you building towards something there, or do you want?
Well, no, I was just saying like there's nothing poisonous. So we were like in this area where it's kind of hot and humid, and up in these mountains in California.
Yeah,
there's fucking rattlesnakes. There's fucking scorpions. Black widows.
Okay, I had a question. What was the wildlife like out there?
No, there wasn't.
So scorpions,
there wasn't much.
Rattlesnakes.
You'd see a fox every once in a while and stuff. Signs of mountain lions.
Okay.
Because you're way up in the mountains.
Talking about poop? You saw poop?
Scratches on trees and stuff. No, I didn't. We're gonna test all the poop we find.
My dad always told me, it's cougar poop if it's got a lot of fur in it.
Yeah, but same with everything else.
I know, right? So I'm like, there's a lot of cougars around here.
It's not like everything else skins their... everything's got fur in it. Also, they lick, like animals lick themselves. They have their own fur.
Oh,
in
that's
there
a good
too.
Point. That's a good point.
So, but no,
learning about biology. Small Town Jake's podcast got you here.
But yeah, the wildlife. Just like scorpions. I found a couple scorpions in my bed when I'd sleep in the tent, because sometimes I'd sleep in the car, like when it was raining. If it was raining, which it didn't rain that much, but just like cold, shitty nights, I'd sleep in the car. And so my buddies, like he would sleep in the passenger side, and I would have to sleep on the driver's side.
So you're sleeping in the front seats, like all totally reclined.
This is like a 1997.
Not in the back bench, like
it's like a 97 Mazda 626.
Yeah,
is what it was. So it's like I don't even think there was back doors. No, it was a 4-door.
Oh my god!
But still, you just lean back. Sleeping in there like that, and you don't.
How did this Okay, so how
blankets
did
or
this
anything.
decision? I can imagine, but how did this decision come to be that you should like go down there and do all this?
I was kind of in the same situation as you, where I was like, I don't really have anything here tying me down. I've got, so I'm gonna venture off. I had this opportunity, years before, it'd been a few years or like 2 years going on there back and forth off and on and stuff. And then I got the offer for a job to stay down there for like 6 months. And I took it. I was like, what? Why not?
What do I have to do in the next 6 months?
Yeah.
My
Nothing. What's holding me here?
schedule's open,
absolutely
actually.
nothing. Yeah. So I was just like, no, I'm gonna go do it. I'm young. I want to go have an adventure.
God, isn't that great? Like
Yeah.
the sense of adventure that we had growing up. Like you're like, okay, like this could be.
I got that shit right now, man. I might fucking leave tomorrow. Never do this podcast again. Well, we can do it from like a distance, I guess.
Yeah. Call me and I'll record it. I'm in Paris, bro.
I got nothing holding me here. So I'm in Paris on another pot farm. I didn't even know they had pot farms in Paris. But no, it was an experience for sure living there. Like I said, like we would be.
What was the typical day like?
Wake up in the morning and work.
Like what was your work day?
So it was all up to us. It was just like the guy who owned the property was just like, I need this done. Get it done within this amount of time. So it was me and my buddy's choice to like work when we wanted to work, but we would usually wake up. And usually, when you're fucking sleeping in a car,
so you're saying
you're sleeping in a
so
car, you wake up pretty fucking early.
It pertained to what was needed by the farm on that day. So some days it could be, like building pots, and then another day it could be, like trimming back plants so they could grow better.
Everything's just certain times a year where everything was a little bit different. But it'd just be like it was a huge fucking property. It was probably like, I don't know, probably 50 acres or something.
50 acres is pretty big, yeah.
Or more. And he was building owner was building like this giant, huge orchard where his property was on a hill, and he built swales, which are like kind of comes down and then goes up to when the water comes down, it like rests here, but you have all the plants.
Okay, so swale is like a berm, right?
Exactly.
So it's like
then you plant the tree at the top of the berm. And then you have another berm, and then you plant the tree at the top of the berm,
and it is
so the water
collects in and feeds those plants
exactly, and there are channels through.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
We spent a month transplanting hundreds of trees and stuff to make this huge orchard, and we also built this huge fence line. He brought in this guy. And he didn't speak any Spanish, and I don't know much at all. And neither did my buddy. And so the only thing, when we worked with this guy, and apparently he was like the best fence guy around, but he didn't speak any English, and all he'd say was "sí, okay," and then speak with his hands.
Yeah.
But no, he taught us how to like build this fence, and we like knocked it out quick. We were like, he had a couple guys that were there with him a couple days, and then a couple days he worked with us. And like you burn the tips of the wood before you put it in the ground because it stops erosion, stuff like that. He taught us a bunch of stuff without us being able to
understand him, like as far as language goes, there's a language barrier,
but he can show us.
You guys developed a sign language,
exactly,
and used
that's what we did. And we like ran across a rattlesnake.
I feel like that was like how it was a lot like back in the old days, like when there's just tribes and they ran into something another
And they
tribe,
couldn't-
and like they spoke different languages. So it's like, okay, how can we yeah
communicate in this
Communicate,
way, and it
yeah.
seems like it's
that's
it seems like it's going away.
I love it. No, it's not going away. It's
Yeah.
it's getting more intense now that there's more people in a denser population to learn different languages. It's like, it's kind of under demand, and really you should like it's kind of cool to
I'm
see
good.
that.
I have enough trouble with the English
Oh,
language.
I know, right? Right.
But yeah. So
I hope you get lost at sea and you end up on an island and you have to communicate with somebody that doesn't speak English, and you guys build like a whole house. And,
yeah, figure it all out.
Yeah.
And then you guys are just happy together forever
And you,
on your island.
You make a jet ski out of bamboo. Like,
And coconuts, of course. It's got to be coconuts. But yeah, so anyways, like we were building the fence, and another thing that I fucking hated down there is fucking rattlesnakes. So we're going along, and we're like clearing some brush, and we come up against a couple baby rattlesnakes that like crawl underneath the thing, and we like get his attention, and we're like, rattlesnake, snake, and he's like, oh shit, and he goes and grabs a shovel, and he just flips the stump of the log over, and there's like 10 baby rattlesnakes right there.
oh my God.
And he just grabs a shovel and he kills them all immediately.
What?
And we're like, holy shit, he just killed a bunch of babies. That's kind of fucked up. And then he was like, we go, mama. Like the mom's coming back. Like we got to go. And then we go and we're talking to the guy that owns the property who does speak Spanish. And he's talking to the guy, and he's like, he was trying to tell you guys, baby rattlesnakes are the worst because a rattlesnake will bite you, and it can control its venom. It can bite and only put a certain amount in you.
Right.
You have a chance to survive. If you're bitten by a baby rattlesnake, they cannot control their venom sac, and they will dump enough to kill like fucking, it's like 14 men in one bite. So they will completely dump. So you see a baby rattlesnake, kill it or get the fuck away. Like if you're
kill
bitten,
it with a shovel.
Yeah. Well, we still had to come.
You have a shovel.
He did
decapitate it.
Yeah, he did end up hanging out up there.
So he's like just decapitating snakes.
He's
like,
fucking waited.
Shabam.
Waited up there until the mom came back and then killed her. She didn't have to. So she didn't have to see her dead babies.
Oh,
that's what
nice.
he said.
That's very nice.
It's because we had the fence line was going right through there. So.
Yeah. Rattlesnakes are a danger to us.
Yeah, but speaking of dangers to us, do you have any other questions? Now that I'm done with the scorpions and fucking rattlesnakes, because there were some other dangers around there.
I had the same question you had for me. It was like, where did you shower and where did you poo?
We had an outhouse that we actually dug when we got there. That was our first
task. You need
day.
to figure out where you're going to ship, boys.
No, first
go over
day
there and you dig a hole. You dig it deep.
No, he was like, we're putting in a new outhouse, so we had to dig like an 8-foot deep hole. It was because there was 4 of us living on the property,
right? Okay.
And then like during other times of the year, there's like 20 people there, trimming season and stuff. Mm-hmm. So we had to have a good outhouse. So we had that, and then he had an outdoor shower.
Okay, great. It wasn't like you had to give each other sponge baths or anything.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, it was his place was. They lived extremely primitive too.
Yeah,
like they had like all cast iron stuff and like a little propane stove inside, and just in this little cabin with like no insulation. Well, I made that insulation. It wasn't that bad, but they had like all their water was like exterior and stuff, and they all their
water was exterior.
Well, yeah, like they used the outdoor shower and stuff too.
Okay, but they're piped in. They didn't have to like collect.
No, this is way up in the fucking mountains. It was all came from a well.
Oh, okay.
This is like 25 miles up a fucking dirt road
Wow.
in the middle of the California
okay.
desert mountains.
Uh,
No,
okay,
they
I got
didn't
two
have
more-
they didn't have PUD or electricity.
Okay.
They had some solar power.
So
We had to
what
charge
was it like?
everything in the car.
Describe one of the moments, maybe your most scariest moment that you had during this whole experience. Like, because I imagine you got to be a little bit paranoid when you're there, and there's got to be.
Probably the most scariest moment was when we went to. I think I told you about this when we read about it in the paper. It was fake DEA agents. So we only got to go down and like have actual good meals because we had to like just cook our own shit or buy our own stuff or whatever, you know. And we had like a little tiny propane stove. If we had that, it was basically just like not cooking and just eating. Anyways, every once in a while we'd have enough money that we could go down to the main town of Willits, and we would go to this restaurant, and we'd just go and like have some beers and like have like I'm gonna have a big giant burger or a steak or whatever.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't eaten real food in like 2 weeks, so we'd go down there, and then we'd always get the paper when we walked in to just see what was happening and stuff. And then we're sitting down there, like have our drinks and like look at the going through the paper, and it's like we see this thing that the people just up the road from us. I mean, it was miles up from us, but like just up the same road, a bunch of fake DEA agents. So a bunch of possibly cartel guys or
A gang of people.
A gang of people showed up dressed as DEA agents and then raided this pot farm. And then they tied everybody up or handcuffed everybody. And they all thinking they're DEA agents.
Yeah.
And
Got 'em
shit's
all
not
together.
federal. You know, it wasn't even legal back
But
then.
it was.
in
There were supposed to be
Washington or
medical.
California.
You're supposed to have. Yeah.
And the place that I worked, they did have all the paperwork. So if the regular cops showed up, they were legal.
Yeah, they're legal to.
Yep. To be
yeah.
for medical marijuana, you can have this amount and sell. But yeah, so there was these guys going around dressed as DEA agents, and then they would handcuff everybody and then kill everybody at the farm, and then take all the pot and all the money, which there was always a fucking shitload of cash because some of the pot didn't go to medical places. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. No, this is.
There's a reason why everybody was able to get pot out there.
It's a big
'cause-
industry, and there's a lot of money involved,
and not a lot of it is legal.
Yeah.
And so it was like they made off with like $1 million in cash and like 100 or 500 pounds or something. But then, yeah, they killed like everybody on the farm.
It's tragic.
And that was, yeah, it is rough. But it
So
was
that's
like,
got to be tough to read that while you're trying to have a good burger and like
Exactly.
like revel in your.
and I was like,
your,
we like
your
looked
work
at it
and
we're
like
shit.
this
That
what
is
we're-
on the same road. Like they drove past us to go
like
do that.
yeah
shit.
that
shit happened a couple days ago.
They could have shortened their trip.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
showed
and
up.
we would have less people there, but maybe not as much stuff. But yeah. So after
Oh my
that point,
gosh.
and I knew it was gonna be. I knew what I was getting into going down there.
So
but after that
so you
point,
read that, and then you did your stuff in town, and you're driving back up.
yeah,
How does that feel?
we bought some booze on the way home.
You're like, all right. We're gonna spend a little bit more of this money downtown today.
Yeah. No, it was scary, but we knew the game going into it.
Yeah.
I said if anybody's seen the show Murder Mountain, like the shit's real.
I have not.
Yeah. It's all about
Quick paraphrase. Yeah.
all the pot trade and stuff, doing exactly what I was doing, but just another mountain over.
Okay.
And just how many people die and disappeared and stuff. And when you go up to do this, and I've after I left this, I had some of my friends that stayed in it for a while, and there was multiple times where they were like, I could have just disappeared. I was so far up in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Nobody knew my actual location. This guy could have just got work out of me for a year and then just buried me under the plants.
Right.
So luckily the guy that we were working for, I had known for a while, and he is actually a really, really good dude.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Okay, so I've got one last question for you, and this was just something that I thought would be just like kind of like, okay, what was the largest amount of weed that you've seen in one location at one time? Like trimmed up, like a pile. Like describe how much you
Probably about 100 pounds.
What does 100 pounds look like?
Okay. A duffel bag full is
Like a military duffel bag?
The military duffel bag is about 5 pounds. Well, 10 pounds. I mean, it matters on.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it matters on a lot of stuff, but yeah, 10 pounds is probably a military. I mean, pound. Yeah.
okay.
Maybe
okay.
less.
Just
5.
just
A lot.
describe what you saw.
Just a ton, just like in Ziplocked or not
Ziploc
Ziploc,
baggies,
but wrapped
bricks,
plastic.
or
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
brickweed.
Well, no, it's not brick. I mean, it's like just sealed to transport. So it's like it looks kind of like a brick.
So it's like saran wrapped.
Yeah, but it's like in baggies and then saran. But you don't want to like crush the shit either.
Right.
So yeah, but just
So
bricks
loosely
and
packed,
bricks
like
and bricks and bricks.
Oh wow.
No, probably the most is just fucking the plants, dude.
Yeah, just seeing how big the plants.
Yeah, and that was just, I mean,
So you're describing like trees,
they're literally almost 20 feet tall.
like
And
okay,
then, so they're probably,
like, our tree out front here.
Yeah.
like
yeah, but that tall.
taller
tall,
than that,
but
or
just imagine it's branched out.
bushy.
But imagine
this is
the
like
branches.
one season.
It probably
One
goes,
season.
Yeah,
They grow that much.
yeah, like 15 feet wide.
Holy shit!
Dude, the colas are like, you can get like 2-foot colas.
Colas are the top of the
The
plant.
colas are the top, yeah.
And-
like 2 foot
and the
2
biggest-
foot fucking, yeah. No, this is massive.
Biggest bud of the whole plant
Yeah.
are the colas.
And they put so much work into making it, like I said, it's all about the dirt. It's all about the
foot.
nutrients. I mean, I remember them dropping off a
2
truck,
feet, 24 inches.
dropping off a truckload of guano that he was like, that cost $5,000 right there. And so you'd mix all these portions, all these rations of shit, and then like seashells grounded up and stuff.
Yep, calcium.
and all these different things and all
Minerals.
these, and then you'd have to sift it all and then put it in this
They're
thing.
creating a perfect mixture.
And the idea is the root grows down, and if the root grows down and it hits a rock, it has to stop its process, go around the rock, and then back down to get more and more nutrients.
Right.
If there's no rocks, it can just make this massive root system and grow to be this amazing tree. You can do this with any fucking
So you're
plant.
creating the
If
perfect conditions.
if you create, any plant can
Yeah.
be amazing if you want to do that, but they're like, well, it's for money, so make a fucking
make the best, biggest thing that you possibly can. Yeah.
Most
wow.
profit.
A 2-foot bud. Holy cow.
yeah, and it's probably like it's massive, man,
Bigger than
just,
softball diameter.
yeah,
Like
just
2
huge.
feet long.
Yeah,
Yeah. Of
Yeah.
all weed.
yeah, and then the actual DEA would fly over, or I don't know if it was DEA or ATF or I don't know. It was a black helicopter.
A
But they-
helicopter maintaining the count on
How much you have there.
Yeah.
Exactly. So It was this black helicopter, and they'd fly over, and they had this big, huge, giant camera that they were like just hanging. They were literally hanging out the side. They were low enough that we would literally we would wave at them, and they'd wave at us. And they would literally be like,
Cheech and Chong.
"Have a good day, guys." And we're like, "You too." Because they flew over like every 5 days or something. But yeah, they're just regulating. Okay, you have a medical card. You have, 50 medical cards, so you can have this many plants.
Yeah, like 15 plants per person 50 people.
Hundreds.
You are supplying a medical...
yeah, and so they're just flying over
demand.
to make sure everything's cool. So there's so many pictures of like me and my buddy waving with these 20-foot plants behind us.
That's fucking great. I love that. That is awesome. It reminds me of Cheech and Chong when like the tarp gets torn, and the tarp was like a painting of a pool, and they're trying to hide a bunch of plants, and the tarp gets torn. All of a sudden, Cheech is going up there trying to repair the tarp. And then he starts like acting like he's swimming on top of the ladder within the tarp, but really it's just a giant grow operation.
Yeah. And this is back before recreational pot was legal and stuff. So, but, yeah, some of it was scary. Some of it, like I said, after we kind of read that, we kind of heard a little bit about, of course there was always murders when you go into working illegally in a illegal trade and drugs and stuff. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong. So yeah, like I said, once we got back from reading that and everything, we ended up, whenever somebody showed up at the property, me and my buddy, we'd just be like, car pulling up or ATVs or something, we would just go and kind of casually book it to the tree line.
Casually, like, get the fuck out.
And hang out. Like, if we didn't
GTFO.
know somebody was going to be there and they're there to see the owner or whatever, we're just going to hang out over here.
Listen for gunshots.
Listen for gunshots.
Oh, God.
And if everything was cool after like half an hour, we'd go back down. So.
Holy shit.
But yeah, I have a lot of other stories of living down there and some other crazy shit that happened, but that's probably for the next time. So yeah. I'm just warning you of the dangers of farming. Living in a vehicle.
Sometimes when you grow really nice plants, people want those plants.
Yes, exactly.
And it's not like zucchini where they're like, do you want zucchini? I've got so much. Please, can you take some?
Nobody wants goddamn zucchini.
Well, thanks again, guys, for showing up and listening to our stories.
Thanks for coming back.
I really hope you enjoyed this one because I sure did.
Yeah.
And
so what we're saying is go and live in a vehicle. Get a van if you can. If not, live in a car. It's worth it. We both did it.
What I hope you get from this is that, be adventurous.
Yeah.
It's a fun time.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well,
do what scares you.
Not too adventurous. Just get up, go to work, come home, make dinner, go to sleep, do it again for the rest of your life. And with that,
yeah, because that's a life worth living.
We'll come back at you with another one soon. And
until next time,
this has been Small Town Jakes, and I'm Jake Wilson, and
I'm Anonymous. I'm Jake Carruthers. Have a good night, you guys.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. Welcome back to the After Hours.
To the After Hours, we're going to give you more, although you don't expect it because we don't always give it to you.
Yeah.
He
Sorry.
agrees. He agrees.
We just had to
Don't
come.
apologize for that. That
We
was
literally
amazing.
just had to come back so Jake Wilson could sing you a song because we can't go through a whole episode without him doing that. No, I thought we'd just come back real quick with we used to do kind of deep thoughts with Jake and Jake. So I just had one written down that I thought that I would do, which kind of pertained to this episode of me working down there, kind of working in that trade, doing kind of some of the stuff I did. It's it's a little dangerous, and so anyways, all right. So
No,
yeah.
You're good.
This quote is from Dr. Jordan Peterson. If you
Deep
know
thoughts.
who that is,
Dr. Jordan Peterson.
yeah, he's look him up. He's got a lot of he's a motivational speaker and stuff. But one of the things he said was maybe a man is better when he's a dangerous man who's being good than he would be if he was just a good man who wasn't capable of being dangerous. And I think what he's saying there is, not like dangerous, like I'm a spy or something, but like a man who has the capability to do the things that not all people can do. If it has to be, if somebody hurts your family, taking care of that, something like that,
Uh-huh.
It's better to be a dangerous man who's being good
Yeah.
than to be a good man who's incapable of being dangerous, and you're incapable of doing those extra things. And I feel like that's kind of me. That's kind of the life that I live, that like can do all these bad things. I could be a fucking brutal man, but I'm choose to be a good man. And that's better than being a good man who's incapable of being able to do those things when they're brought to him and they're needed to be done.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. I think it's taken me a while to get around to it, but when you like just put it that way, I was like, okay.
Yeah. Like, no, I'm not saying like being a bad guy or anything,
Right,
but like
right.
having the capability
But-
to do those things that
Yeah,
you
being a
sometimes
good
need to
guy
be
that
done.
that doesn't need that can't do.
yeah, is better to be a rougher guy who is being good, choosing to be good, but has the ability to do bad if need be.
Right.
If you understand, towards the
Yeah,
right.
I think we
towards
can
the
read
right-
between the lines.
Yeah,
here.
like towards the right thing. Somebody hits a woman, you're able to fucking hit
Take
that guy
care of
back.
that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was just something that I thought.
yeah. Somebody
yeah.
that can stand up to
It's just
to justice,
yeah,
and
it's-
somebody who could, it's like a superhero.
Yeah.
Somebody that can stand up to being the vigilante justice maker.
Yeah, and it's better to be a dangerous man who's being good than a good man who's incapable of being dangerous. And some of the best people I know are fucking dangerous dudes. I would not fuck with them. They're fucking good people though.
Oh gosh, yeah. I've met some
that's
dangerous.
that's kind of
dudes.
what it's saying is like some of the best fucking people I know. You don't fuck with them or their family or anybody like that. And I'm just saying maybe it's better to be that kind of dude than it is to be somebody who's incapable of doing that. So
Word up.
that was my deep thought. And do you have anything else?
I mean, I got a deep thought on like the whole kind of thing about this episode is this is something that this is not the mainstream way to live your life, but this is an unsheltered, an honest look at the world that I can't look away from.
Yeah.
That, all this stuff exists, and how you navigate it is eventually defines who you are. And being a good guy in a tough situation, and standing up for what you believe in, I think that's a very admirable thing to do.
Yeah. Especially if you're standing up for what's right.
Right, and that's you just don't harm other people, and
Yeah. Can't we all just fucking get along?
Can't we all? Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can, and we do when we listen to this podcast, the Small Time Jakes podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. So we appreciate you guys coming back for the after hours. And what we're saying is, but I think the basis of this episode is just kind of get out there and just do shit that scares you a little bit. That's maybe
out of the norm.
Jump out and try something every once in a while. Fucking live in a van. Go fucking work at a pot farm. I don't know.
Just live your truth.
Yeah.
That's all we're trying to say is like live your truth. Like
it doesn't matter what the fuck anybody else thinks. Just fucking do you. Like, and if it's gonna make you happy, go try it. And if it doesn't work out, like, you're still not living in a van, and I'm not down in California. It does sometimes.
Okay.
It doesn't work out, but like we have those experiences and stuff, and
it shapes us.
That is so important. And I have really quick one more thing about just experiences and moments in life is another quote that nothing is really ours in life. We only borrow it. Until we die, then it all goes.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing we truly own in this life are moments in time.
In this table I built. No.
Moments stand there. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to diminish what you said.
No, but yeah, the only thing that we truly own are moments in time. And I just feel like that meant so much. Like
that fucking
moments,
very true.
Moments will last forever in memories.
Yeah.
So you
so say yes to that event that you're kind of on the fence about.
Yeah.
Go out when you're tired.
Do it.
And you just want to stay at home tonight. Get out there and
have a moment in life that you're going to remember. And even if it goes sideways, maybe you'll still have a good story. You'll sit and laugh about it in a couple years and be like, that was totally worth it.
And with that, we will conclude today's episode. Thank you so much, everybody that has been here tonight and listening along. And I hope you have something to contribute down with us. Get a hold of us any sort of way that you'd like.
Any social media.
And
Facebook, Instagram. We're not on TikTok.
Give us a high five.
We appreciate you guys. We love you. And until next time, good night.
This has been a Weirdly Awkward production.
But wait!